Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. We are going to discuss the medulla oblongata being part of your brain stem. It lies in between the pons and the spinal cord, and posterior to it the cerebellum lies. Now this is 2.5 centimeter in length and popularly known as the bulb. It lies at the level of foramen magnum and against the basilar part of the occipital bone. Now what it carries? It has to deal with so many reflex centers. So means carrying so many vital centers concerning with your breathing and circulation, dealing with your heart rate, the vasomotor action like controlling of blood pressure, the swallowing and the digestion process, right? Few features on the ventral aspect of the medulla oblongata. Let me name them. This is the central anterior-median fissure. On the adjacent side, you find two pyramids which are like swellings, and on the lateral aspect, you find the green color oval elevations which are olives, right? And now we will see that the pyramids are what? They are the bundle of nerve fibers that are gonna produce the corticospinal tract. We will discuss them later on. And what are olives? These are due to the underlying masses of gray matter made up of inferior olivary nuclei, right? Then in between the pyramids and olives, there lies the anterolateral sulcus, or you can expect them on the both sides. And then behind the olives, you find the posterolateral sulci on both sides. These sulci are important because we have to see various cranial nerves emerging through these sulci, right? Now we have to observe the posterior aspect of the medulla oblongata. So concentrate this conical structure which is like a cylinder in its lower part, and in the very center there runs the central canal. But if you concentrate on the upper part of the medulla oblongata, it is widely open and the central canal is opened up to form the fourth ventricle, right? Now again few features on this posterior surface. In the very center you can see the central line as a posterior median sulcus, right? And on the adjacent aspect of this posterior median sulcus you find two tubercles called as gracile tubercles, right, which is being marked or underlined by the green line. Then on the lateral aspect of this gracile tubercle you find two other tubercles called as cuneate tubercles on the both sides, right, being marked by the blue line, right? And you can very well see that there lies the inferior cerebellar peduncle, which is basically an afferent connection between medulla oblongata and the posteriorly rested cerebellum, right? And if you concentrate on the most lateral aspect of cuneate tubercle, there lies another elevated or a protuberance called as tuber cinereum. And what it is produced by the gray matter called the spinal nucleus of the trigeminal nerve. Another thing you can find here, that there are transversely running fibers called as stria medullaris. We will discuss them later on. Concentrate on the posterior aspect of the medulla oblongata. The medially located gracile tubercles carrying gracile nuclei, they are taking sensory information from your lower limb which are placed on the ground. So for remembrance that the gracile tubercles are located medially and your lower limbs are also medially in respect to your upper limbs, right? So easy to remember. Then you can see the posterior aspect that the cuneate tubercle are located lateral to the gracile tubercle and so are taking sensory information from your laterally located upper limb. Again ventral aspect of the medulla oblongata, and here we have to learn that there are four systems that exist in the medulla oblongata. So let's see that the blue arrow is showing the exit of the hypoglossal nerve from the anterolateral sulcus and the exit of 9th, 10th and 11th cranial nerve from the posterolateral sulcus. It means last four cranial nerve nuclei are buried into the medulla oblongata and are coming out as an anterolateral system, right? And then you can see that there is a black arrow that is showing the connection of your medulla oblongata as per inferior cerebellar peduncle towards the cerebellum. This is the posterior system or connection in between your medulla oblongata and the cerebellum. Then what you see the two arrows at the lower margin I have marked with the two pinkish colors. The ascending track is represented by the upward arrowhead and there is a descending tracks which are being shown and marked by the downward arrowhead, right? It means that cranial nerves are exiting or taking exit anteriorly and the ascending and descending tracks are running upwards and downwards, and we can see that posteriorly there is also a connection through inferior cerebellar peduncle with that of the cerebellum. When we cut the pyramids, what we see that there are the bundle of nerve fibers. We call them as corticospinal tracts, and from where they get origination, their nerve cell nuclei lie in the precentral gyrus of the cerebral cortex, right? And from there they descend downwards and are reaching the medulla oblongata and forming the pyramids, right? And you can see that they are showing the major crossover, or you can see the decussation of the pyramids, right? Almost 70 to 75% of them cross over and form the lateral corticospinal tract and reach the lateral right column, right? Now you can observe that there lies another set of fibers, if I can mark for you, which are forming the anterior corticospinal tract, and they are descending downwards without crossing over. They are almost making 10 to 15% and run in the anterior white column, right? And another thing, you can see few of the fibers are running along the lateral corticospinal tract, but they are not crossing over, just coming along with these lateral corticospinal tract, right? One thing you have to notice that lateral corticospinal tract, they are supposed to extend throughout the length of the spinal medulla, right? And the anterior corticospinal fibers or tracts, they have to reach the thoracic region of the spinal medulla, right? In this transverse section of medulla oblongata, we have to focus on few arcuate fibers. Arcuate means that the fibers that are making arc. So let's concentrate that which are these. Let me name them. They are external arcuate fibers, which are of two types we can mention, that anterior external arcuate fibers and posterior external arcuate fibers. Let me show you from where they are originating and going where. And concentrate that this is the anterior median fissure, right? And from here there lies the arcuate nucleus, and here the anterior external arcuate fibers are arising, passing over the medulla and anterolaterally now winding round the olives, and then they are supposed to enter in the inferior cerebral peduncle, and here the number given to them are number 10. These are the anterior external arcuate fibers. Let me repeat, originating from the arcuate nuclei which are located anteriorly on the pyramid, and they are taking the root and are going to enter into the cerebellum via inferior cerebellar peduncle, right? Now here let me mark that you are looking into the nucleus gracilis and the nucleus cuneatus, right? And now concentrate on the fibers marked by number 9, and I have marked with the pinkish arrow that these are the posterior external arcuate fibers arising from the accessory cuneatus nucleus and are gonna transmit to the cerebellum, and definitely they are uncrossed fiber above the level of C8, and they are gonna replace the posterior spinocerebellar tract, right? Now, what you are looking to? You are looking to a vertically placed loaf of a bread. Imagine it just like that of medulla oblongata. That is a complete loaf. But how do we know that what it carries inside? For this, we have to see another diagram to get a clear concept. Now, if we make the slices of this loaf, or you imagine the medulla oblongata, and take each slice out, and we can now observe that what it carries over there. Let me show you another diagram, right? Now you can see different slices and different structures being placed on them, right? It means if a transverse section is taken from the lower end of the medulla, it will be addressing some different things. But if a section is taken at the top area, that will be showing some other different features. So you should keep in mind that these different sections could be having most of the things in common, but with so many major differences as well. Now come back to the topic, and I am showing you different transverse section of the medulla oblongata. On the very top you can see that there is a cut section which we have taken at the level of decussation of pyramids, right? And the middle picture is showing the level of transverse section again at the decussation of medial lemnisci, right? And the lower part is showing the transverse section taken at the level of olives, right? And this is the uppermost area of your medulla oblongata. We have to learn this transverse section of the medulla oblongata at different level. So this is the lowermost level where the medulla is showing the pyramidal decussation or great motor decussation is there. Now keep in mind that the general arrangement of the inner gray matter and outer white matter of the spinal cord, that remains the same, but you can see the rearrangement accordingly. Now concentrate first of all that you can visualize the anterior median fissure, and now you can visualize the decussation of the pyramid, that they are going to form the lateral cortico-spinal tract, right? And what else? In the gray matter you can observe that there lies the two nuclei. The medial one are the nucleus gracilis, and on lateral aspect of it you can find the nucleus cuneatus, and definitely they are having overlying the fasciculi of both the fasciculus gracilis and the fasciculus cuneatus. These are the white matter. Now let me tell you where I use the word nuclei or nucleus, that is a part of the gray matter, and where we use the word the fasciculi, the lemnisci, the bundles, the tract, these are the white matter, right? And what else you can see on the very lateral aspect, you find the spinal tract of cranial nerve 5, which is written as trigeminal nerve nuclei and its tract, right? And on the anterolateral extremity of the white column, you can see the posterior spinocerebellar tract, and then in the yellow color you can find the lateral spinothalamic tract, and the green color is showing the anterior spinocerebellar tract. So it means that this transverse section that is taken at the level of decussation of pyramids, what you find? You find in the very center there is the central canal, okay? And the nuclei you get are the nuclei of the gracilis and the nuclei of the cuneatus, right? And what important nuclei in addition to them are the spinal nucleus of trigeminal nerve and nearby the accessory nucleus, right? The other important thing we have to mention that the motor tracts it is addressing are the decussation of corticospinal tract forming the pyramid, right? And what else? The tracts which I have just mentioned before them are the sensory tracts, which, let me repeat, the spinal tract of cranial nerve 5, the posterior spinocerebellar tract, the lateral spinothalamic tract, and the anterior spinocerebellar tract, right? Now this picture is showing the cross section of your medulla oblongata at the level of great sensory decussation, means the decussation of the medial lemniscus. So let's see what this picture is showing. In the very center, the central canal is there. Now, you can see the nucleus gracilis on the both side of posterior median sulcus. You can see them. Then lateral to it, you can find the nucleus cuneatus. What is going to happen that from here, the fibers in the purple color are originating, and these are called as internal arcuate fibers. They are coming forward and anterior to the central canal. They are supposed to decussate, and in this way they are supposed to form the medial lemniscus or great sensory decussation. They come forward anterior to your central canal, then they curve medially towards the midline, right? And where they have to go, they medially runs towards the midline, and along with the opposite side fibers, they have to reach the thalamus and the cerebrum, right? And so what else you can see here? Let me repeat that central canal is there. Then you see which nuclei? The nucleus gracilis and nucleus cuneatus. In addition to it, you find the spinal nucleus of cranial nerve 5, right? Then the accessory nucleus we find here, and then the hypoglossal nerve nuclei, right? And what else you find? In the motor tract, the pinkish color most anteriorly are the pyramids, and posteriorly you find the sensory tract. Let me repeat that the decussation of medial lemniscus is there, and you find the fasciculus gracilis, fasciculus cuneatus, and the spinal tract of the trigeminal nerve. Then in addition to them, what you find? You find the posterior and anterior spinocerebellar tracts and the lateral spinothalamic tract. So these are the few features you find here, and you also get the inferior olivary nucleus located on the adjacent side of this you can say medial lemnisci, or just posterior aspect of the pyramids, right, which are forming the olives, if you keep in mind the previous knowledge, right? To sum up this last or uppermost level of the transverse section at the level of olives, I would say what you can see here, the central canal which is being replaced by the fourth ventricle, you can see in the picture. Now nuclei, let me name them again. The inferior olivary nucleus, the nucleus of cranial nerve 5, which is spinal nucleus, the vestibular nucleus, the glossopharyngeal nucleus, the vagus nucleus, hypoglossal nucleus, then the nucleus ambiguus, and the nucleus of tractus solitarius. These are the nuclei you get at this level of the medulla oblongata, right? Then if somebody asks what motor tracts are supposed to pass here, these are the pyramids, most anterior located, you can see. And let me mention this sensory tracts. These are the medial longitudinal fasciculus, and you can find the tectospinal tract, then of course the medial lemniscus, then the spinal tract of cranial nerve 5, and lateral spinothalamic tract, and anterior spinocerebellar tract, right? And what are basically they? They are all arrangement of the gray matter in the form of the various nuclei, and the arrangement of white matter in the form of various lemnisci and various tracts, right? And this is how this complicated medulla oblongata can be simplified by taking its three sections at three major structures we have learned, that at the level of pyramids, at the level of the medial lemnisci, and then at the level of olives, and how they are making connection through ascending and descending tracts, and how various cranial nerve nuclei are being set, and how the inferior cerebellar peduncle is leading the connection towards the cerebellum from the medulla oblongata. Thank you very much.